Welcome to Journey Through Era, a channel where we explore fascinating historical events. And today we want to talk about the woman who sued God. Can you imagine filing a lawsuit against God? It might sound absurd, but in 1969, an Arizona woman actually did just that, suing the Almighty for damages after a lightning bolt struck her home. But what made this case even stranger was that the court had to consider whether God actually owned property on Earth. But before we begin, please click on the subscription button below and turn on the notification button for more videos in the future. Now let's dive in. This unusual case began when Betty Penrose, a secretary in Arizona, decided to take legal action after a lightning bolt struck her house. But rather than blaming bad luck or nature, she blamed God himself for negligence. Of course, no ordinary person can just walk into a courtroom and file a lawsuit against a divine entity. So, her lawyer, Russell T. Tanzi, took on the case and filed a $100,000 lawsuit against God on Betty's behalf. His argument: if God controlled the universe, then he was responsible for what happened in it, including destructive lightning bolts. At first, this might have seemed like a joke, but Tanzi had a legal trick up his sleeve. He based the lawsuit on a bizarre property dispute that had unfolded just weeks before. Around the same time, folk singer Lou Gottlieb had done something unusual. He legally transferred the deed of his property, Morning Star Ranch in Sonoma County, California, to God himself. This meant that, at least on paper, God technically owned land in the United States. Tanzi and Penrose used this argument in court. If God owns property, then he can be sued just like any other property owner. Since the lightning strike had damaged Penrose's house, they sought damages from God's supposed earthly estate. But there was a problem. How do you serve legal papers to an omnipotent being? And who would even represent God in court? Unsurprisingly, the lawsuit didn't get very far. The judge ruled that the deed transferring property to God was invalid, because legally speaking, God could not take possession of the land. And if God couldn't own property, then he couldn't be sued for damages either. With that decision, the case was dismissed, and Betty Penrose never saw a cent of the $100,000 she had hoped to win. While the lawsuit against God may have been dismissed, it sparked conversations about the absurdity of some legal claims and the quirks of the justice system. It wasn't the first, and certainly wouldn't be the last time someone tried to sue a divine entity. Over the years, other lawsuits have been filed against God, but none have resulted in a verdict. Thank you for watching Journey Through Era. What do you think about this bizarre case? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating history content. Did you know? In 2007, a Nebraska senator named Ernie Chambers sued God for causing natural disasters, war, and suffering. The court dismissed the case, stating that God had no known address and could not be served with legal papers. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll uncover the bizarre case of the woman who claimed to have given birth to 17 rabbits. Was it a medical miracle or one of history's strangest hoaxes? You won't believe what really happened.